Hello, doing this right after the big event. This is Cedric and Cedric for CR Wrestling Commentary, and giving our thoughts on Joey Janela on Tony Khan's mistakes. And jumping right into it, Joey Janela, he was pointing out everything wrong that Tony Khan is doing, exactly the same thing that everyone else has been saying he's been doing wrong. Now, Joey was there. He was there. He got to see it, experience it, listen to it firsthand. And if someone on the inside is matching what everyone on the outside is saying, then that means Tony Khan has exposed himself and his business way too much. Like critical levels of, silliness of exposing it. Now, Joey Janela, he was talking about, now look, when you agree to disagree, today people use it as, in all honesty, as the weakest cop out to get out of something. So they don't have to keep talking or arguing or whichever it is. Or they know they're going to go into a cognitive dissonance, so they just back out. Agree to disagree means originally that when something is said, there's enough in there to agree with and also enough to disagree with. And so that was usually agree. We're going to have to agree to disagree. Okay, what do you agree with and what don't you disagree with? It was a conversation starter. It furthered it. So,
or it ended it,
depending upon. But people use it today to end it. We agree to disagree. Okay, I don't want to talk about this anymore. That's really all it is. It's just a display of weakness, and people take that personal. Hey, you don't have to. You could be like, I'm not going to do that anymore, or I'm going to do me. You do you, and I'd be like, okay.
It all depends on who's talking. It's to not go off on a quick tangent, but it all depends on who's talking. If you're having a conversation and what you think or putting forward is not as fundamentally wrong, or anybody's going to lose a limb over it, just you disagree with what the other person's thinking and they're mad. I mean, if they'll keep arguing at you, trying to get you to change your mind, and there is no harm, no foul either way. Agree to disagree is a good way to walk away from some dumb shit. You just mad 'cause I don't agree with you.
I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't agree to disagree with that. I wouldn't. I'd just be like, dude, if you, or whichever, dude, you female or male or anything, doesn't matter. Dude. But if you are arguing and the sense is not being made and you just want to be right, you don't have to agree to disagree. Just say you are not intellectually defending yourself. I don't want any part of that. It's that simple. You are not intellectually defending your argument. I don't want any part of that. Because at that point, it's a shouting match, and then it'll be what it is. No one's going to learn. Nobody's going to be right. No one's going to be wrong. Well, everybody's going to be right. They just don't know how wrong they may be or how accurate they were, just arguing from the wrong point of view. Now, with that said, Joey Janela, he mentions that with the Sonny Kiss thing, they teamed him up with Sonny Kiss. He said they was going back to TV, and they had so many people that they had to let him go. No. There's a lot of money. Some people had to go because they were not performing. They were being an embarrassment on Twitter. And that's what happened. Joey Janela was the prime candidate of look at all of these botches, and he was in all of them. All of them. Now, they're botches, that's wrestling industry term. I usually just call them mistakes. Mistakes, errors, slip-ups, things like that. And no. He was an embarrassment. And plus, if you got all these other people and you got some high-end people coming in, you're going to start cutting corners. I think he was just trying to save face at that juncture because they kept Sonny Kiss.
I didn't see Sonny Kiss do any botches.
Yeah. And there's a difference.
And there's a period of time where Janela was there. And, Cornette would ride him for being pasty and overweight and yada, yada. Then he went away. Then he came back and he wasn't pasty. He was tan, he was toned, and he was crisper than he was previously. He was pulling on the whole 80s bad guy rock and roll hairband shit. And it was working. I thought it was working. I'm not saying I was a fan, but it was an improvement. It was a drastic visual improvement. And I'm not talking about his physique. I'm talking about his performance.
Yes.
And I don't recall Cornette, because I'm not
avid listener.
Thank you. But I don't recall Cornette giving him any kind of props for that, and they were deserved.
Cornette gave compliments by not saying anything.
That's booty.
Yes, it is. It's weak. I see that as weak. There are look. What did he say? He said that the people there wrestle like twice a month or something like that. Basically, their performance level atrophies.
If you don't use it, you're gonna lose it.
Therefore, that's why he started botching all the time. That was him saving face. No, as I said earlier, he was botching from day one. Slip-ups, mistakes, miscues, ill-timed, overly choreographed, looking silly from day one. From day one, when I watched him in the ring, I'm going to tell you what I didn't see. I didn't see a motif. I didn't see basics. I didn't see leading up to a finisher. I didn't see leading up with his personality. I didn't see any personality traits in the ring to say, oh, they're messing up because they do this thing when this happens. I saw none of that. Just move after move until it's over. Pretty much what you got to see with Sammy Guevara and Action Andretti. Just move after move. No one takes damage until it's over. No matter how much of a legit finisher it is, it's just do it until you're done. Oh, we're out of time. All right, we'll do this and wrap it up. That's it. So Joey Janela is a part of that. He says that there was no indies. Nobody's going to the indies. No. AEW did not block, and Tony Khan didn't block anybody from going to the indies. Nobody. Everyone that wrestled there, I watched them on various YouTube stuff and other wrestling site things. I saw them in matches that were up to date in various places. I've seen Sonny Kiss wrestle in 3 different promotions in between her 1 week matches or his 1 week matches. So that was a lie. Joey Janela was wrestling in other places. I saw him. Didn't like it. He was still going to GCW. I saw it. Didn't like it. During his run in AEW. He never atrophied. He just won't good. You just got to, that's just it. Now, see, I agree with what he's saying about you don't get used, you atrophy. I agree with that. I just disagree with the content of what he said. So I agree to disagree.
He's not going to tell the truth because not even crapping on AEW. He doesn't want to crap on the indies.
He don't want to crap on himself.
And everything that he did when he first got to AEW would fly in the indies.
Yes.
It was great. Oh man, he fucked up and almost killed us all. Yay!
Joey Janela was popular on the indies, but he wasn't an indie darling. Everybody's popular on the indies. Everybody. But he wasn't a darling. The darlings stayed. Now he talked about, if you want to say anything about that.
The darling stayed.
Orange Cassidy.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Bucks,
yeah.
All of those people that should not be in a legitimate professional wrestling company. They would not be there.
Only comment that I want to make is I want to know what the difference is between him leaving and coming back all toned up and better. Not the best, but better. Did he decide to hone his skills? Did he already have these skills, but he was used to garbage wrestling, so he just kept it up? I would like to answer that question.
That's hard to say because when we saw him a year later on the indie scene, wow. But he was in GCW wrestling the Invisible Man so he can go eat balls. but he looked really good. He looked good. He could wrestle. He learned a few basics and then wrestled the Invisible Man. You can't get the stupid away from these people. And it ticks me off because in general, if you're a professional wrestler, I just want to love you in general. Just in general, because you're in that ring and I'm just loving what I see. I want to look at you and say, I like you. Even if you're the best. I love MJF. If I met him, I might want to bust him in his face. But I like him. He's a professional wrestler. He is a legitimate professional wrestler. Love it. That's MJF. That's Bryan Danielson. CM Punk.
People wrestle the Invisible Man and all that shit because back in the day, and you already know this, but I'm just going to say it. Back in the day, wrestling was treated like an exclusive club that you had to be invited into. And then things got revealed, and eventually it was like, hey, I'm going to open up a wrestling school and unzip all of our flies and teach these folks just enough so they can go out there and unzip their fly too. And it sucks because they continue this, I really don't care about the business. I'm just doing what I was trained to do, because that's all that people really do. They do what they're trained to do. If I see Janela or anybody else wrestling the Invisible Man, it's fucked up, but I don't completely blame them.
I do. They made the choice.
They made the choice, but when you want to pass on the idea of grandeur, you have to pass on the idea of grandeur. If grandma had slamming cornbread and she gave her recipe to her daughter, then her daughter has slamming cornbread, but then she decides not to pass it on to her own daughter. You cannot be pissed when she breaks out some sliced bread and say, there you go. She wasn't taught.
I get that. Okay? But where in the world does hip toss, arm drag, headlock, side headlock, drop toe hold, Irish whip, suplex, body slam, where does that fit with, hey man, wrestle this invisible guy? Where does that... You see, cognitive dissonance might be setting in right now.
No cognitive dissonance. It doesn't. But what they're teaching is, they don't teach storytelling. They don't teach protecting the business. Nope. They teach dangle the keys.
Yes, do this, get over with the moves.
And so they dangle the keys and they make their money. And it sucks because it's shitting on everything that allows them to be able to dangle those keys. But nobody's teaching storytelling.
Now, they're teaching it, just nobody's listening because, they can do their own thing.
The ones who were teaching it are not as massive as the ones who were teaching the dangling the keys, and that's the problem.
Yeah, you've got maybe 40 people that's teaching how to do it right, and then you got like 300 saying, yeah, just do this and going out there.
And then with things being instant gratification, hey, I want to train for 6 months and become The Rock. That's what they think's gonna happen. And so they're not like, hey, The Rock had to do that shit for a real long time. And they're like, no. I want to train for 6 months and I can talk and I look good. I'm going to be The Rock.
Be like,
they also can't, teach someone who's not receptive. So there you go.
Be like, you know what? Like, you want to be The Rock? Then do this. Work on your body. Work on your skills. Get your basics. Go in. They're going to try to push you. You're going to get booed and hated. And they're going to boo you out the building. You're going to go away. You're going to do a few things. Come back. Be a little different. Then you're going to be neutral. No one's going to really care about you. You're going to be part of a group that you don't fit in because you just look like you don't belong there. But you're going to be like this unnamed leader of the group and bark no orders. And then all of a sudden they're going to see you. And then they're going to hear you. You're going to do your promos. You're going to get over. The crowd's going to like what you got to say. Then you're going to be a little popular. You're going to keep it up. The crowd's going to get to the point where they just can't go without you. And then you've made it. Go through that. Go through that.
All I have to do is go in there and have the dude grab my balls and then I flip them and then I go viral.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Or I'll do this, leap on to this person and hurt everybody. But the crowd cheered. Let's do a powerbomb on the car. Yeah, but they know that. We know that. But there's people that are going to hear this and they're going to be offended by it because, and I'll be honest with you, I don't care. If you are a spot monkey and don't know wrestling and are offended when we talk about what a professional wrestler is from back in our day, how it can be modified into this generation, and so how you can do spots but still put on a legitimate professional wrestling match, and talk about how these indie idiots can't do that because they weren't taught that, and then realize they weren't taught that, but they refuse to learn it from those that's been there. And I call those people idiots and weak and a blight on professional wrestling. And you want to take that to heart and internalize it yourself, then be weak and leave. Because people are so dumb, they unsubscribe without even saying what their issue is. So be stupid. Go ahead. It's all good. I disagree with how you feel. And if you disagree with how I feel, it is all good. I don't take it personal. I don't hold it personally against you. You like what you like. Fine. So long as it ain't hurting anybody. So long as what you want to see isn't hurting somebody. And when these people go out untrained, they hurt others. And when they hurt others, you know what they do? That prevents them from making money to feed their family. That's it. And that's why I feel the way I feel. You got your job or you do what you do. Imagine somebody hurting you so you can't do it. Who are you going to be mad at? The idea of what you're doing or the one that hurt you? So just throwing that out there. So Joey Janela, he talks about people getting paid 6 figures minimum. That means $100,000 from the lowest paid person to 7 figures. That means a minimum of $1 million or more to the top people. That's what Tony Khan is doing.
That's not sustainable.
If I pay these people a gob of money, they will stay and be with me and like me. No. Pay them somewhere in between $40,000 at the bottom of the rung, $40,000, all right? Or pay them per appearance only. Whatever the gate of that house was, they just get a part of that. That's about it. Move on. Your top, there's a difference between top wrestlers and workers and then people who are just so beloved by somebody. Tony Khan is paying people that can't go money that people that can go should make. See, for example, MJF, Chris Jericho, who's going to get the $1 million? Who's going to get the $80,000? I give that $80,000 to MJF. Why?
Yeah, answer that for me.
Why? Because good. Okay. The reason being, Chris Jericho, he's a legend. Why? Because he's been in the business for a while. Well known. He's been on TV. He's held some titles. That means the company feels comfortable with you.
I'm sorry. I thought cancer's legendary too, but we don't want to keep it around.
So, good grief. So, Jericho, you would think after look, it's the WWE. He was there. He was in WCW. I remember those days. Let's give him all the money. Oh, he's so popular.
From Tony's point of view.
Mm-hmm. And mine. So, okay. MJ, now Jericho, he go to WCW, he looks great, Lionheart, good body, good matches, does well. WWF, all right, before E, WWF, Y2K, all right, well, Y2J, he got the intro, he looks good. The Rock pretty much snuffed that out, but he did well.
Who'd you rather look at?
He looked good. Yeah. So, all right. But then when he goes to AEW, nothing he does, nothing looks good. He legitimately got out of shape, looked washed up, wrestled washed up, did washed up ideas and stupid matches. stupid events. They made no sense. They furthered nothing. Trying to be original, trying to be like WWE, Attitude Era, and all that silliness and craziness to hot shot and get the fans to watch something. No. You don't go from titles to great matches to stupidity. No, you don't get the money. You too damn old and too damn experienced to do this stupid. All right? This that simple to me. MJF, why should he get the most? He's young. That ain't got nothing to do with it. He can wrestle. I like his moves. That's gotten not much to do with it. MJF is a studier of the game. MJF listens to those that came before him. He learns. He watches the tape. He makes sure he tries his best to modify it to modern times to stay over. And he is over. The people hate him.
And they love him.
At the same time. They hate him because he's a jackwad. They love him because they'll cheer anyone that come out the damn tunnel. He's a wrestler. Yes, I love him. He said things I don't agree with. Boo, cancel him. People are fickle. They're fickle. They're emotionally fickle. And MJF knows it, and he is riding that to the pay window.
But he's also plucked something out of the crowd that the crowd doesn't know they've fallen into. They like disliking him.
Yes.
That's the difference. Jericho, I don't like him, and I don't want to see him. He could retire right now, and my eggs will taste good tomorrow and the next day because I don't care. I don't like his face. I don't like his promo. I don't like his wrestling, his knees, or his clothes. I don't like him.
What's up with the man's knees?
And he's got fucked up knees. And I want him to go away.
Okay, can I say something good about Chris Jericho?
I mean, you're going to waste a compliment, sure.
It's not a waste. When Jericho came out with that mask on to derail Ricky Starks, when he got in the ring and pulled that mask off, Chris Jericho looked like he was 15 years old.
Okay.
His face looked like he was 15 years old. I almost
the same dumb brain.
Yeah. I ain't saying it's not. I'm just saying. I'm like, man, what's your secret? What's in that mask? You know, I don't look that different from when I was 18, but still, you know, whatever's in that mask, you know, I might want to get some of that.
A good dose, whatever keeps his eyes red.
Oh, that's probably hay fever, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Crack.
Now, what else? Janela. It's not crack. Joey Janela, he spoke on Tony Khan and the booking and the storytelling, and Disco Inferno was talking about it a little bit. And yeah, you've got a lot of wrestlers and you need to get them all. You want to please them all. And yet you're going to have these jackwads that no one technically cares about putting on 21-minute and 35-minute matches.
Can you do 8-minute matches?
Wrestling matches, depending upon who you were and who you was going against, range from 1 minute to 6 minutes on average, which is why on TBS, WCW was doing the 6:05, 6 minutes, 5 seconds, and all that stuff. Because it was just something to gimmick up what they was already doing anyway.
Tony should do 8-minute matches. 8 minutes, boom, talk, 4 minutes. 8 minutes, boom, talk, 4 minutes, commercial.
Ring of
Honor.
That should be it. 30 seconds to a minute on a promo. Get your point out. Why are you there? What are you after? How you going to try to go about it? Get ready to see me soon because it's going to be awesome. Yada, yada, yada.
Who don't you
move
like?
on.
How you going to damage their face? And yeah, move on.
Yeah. You know, don't take much. You know, but he's trying to capture things from moments that he liked when he was a fan, like a legit fan back in those days. That's what he's trying to do.
What is so attractive about a sniveling heel that you're gonna be a fan of it?
Because it's the only heel they was exposed to. Triple H was a sniveling heel.
Read a damn book.
Look, they're used to Triple H, not Ric Flair.
Sniveling. I couldn't stand Triple H either.
MJF, he's a Ric Flair, he's a Roddy Piper type heel. That's why they're loving him. He knows he's captured that right amount. He knows how to work the crowd. Like he said, hey, we're at break. I don't give a fuck. I was like,
yes,
I love you.
Yes, indeed. I can't remember liking a heel when we watched WWE, to be honest with you.
No, you're not supposed to like the heel.
I'm different. The first heel that I really liked, and you know who I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say. Jeff Jarrett. We started watching TNA.
Yeah.
He started talking them shit to them dudes.
I was stuck on Ric Flair. But yeah.
Ric Flair, yeah. But Ric Flair, he didn't get you where you live like Jeff Jarrett.
No, he didn't. Ric Flair said common, everyday stuff that would tick off someone who's married or got a girlfriend and stuff like that.
Jeff Jarrett stick that knife in. No, it's not even a knife. It's a fork. And he just twists it.
A dull fork. Rusted with erasers at the tip to make it worse. Like, just to make sure he has to drive it in even harder.
And MJF is the only one that knows how to do that. He can get that out of the wrestlers. He can get that out of the announcers. He can get it out of the crowd with the snap of his fingers. And everybody else is just bullshitting.
Yeah. They don't know. They're afraid to learn. And MJF has taken those reins and no one can copy it. Because now they're going to look like they're just copying him. He was very tactical about it. Very tactical. But getting these guys matches, they need short matches. The matches, a match that's going to be 10 minutes, a 10 and 15 minute match, that's your main event. Your mid card, that should be 7, 9. Your opening cards, 2, 3, 4. But Tony Khan is trying to make sure that his EVPs get all the time that they want.
And every show is a mini pay-per-view. I think that's what Janela said.
Yep.
Somebody said that.
No, that's what Janela said. Every show is a mini pay-per-view, and that's what you can't do.
He's going to put himself in a damn home at this pace.
It's not his money. It's his dad's money.
No. I don't mean that. I mean mentally.
He think he's got things right, and he's wrong. If I took over AEW, y'all would see such a massive change, and y'all would see pro wrestling as it needs to be. And Tony Khan gives his wrestlers creative control, and I'm like, I don't know about that. It should be.
I don't know about it either, because
Tony Khan should have the majority say in how things are going to go down, but the wrestlers should be able to give input if they see something wrong.
Because when you don't do that, you have things like Dustin with Keith Lee looking like a goddamn preacher.
Keith Lee is doing something different. We're going to see how that rolls out. We're going to see. I like his new outfit that matches his hair. He's like, look, I'm gray. I'm going to be natural. I'm going to put the outfit to go with it. We'll see how it do.
He should shave it off, man.
Yeah.
You should shave it off. It look badass.
He would.
It look badass.
He would.
Have that hair down the sideburns, a little bit of salt and pepper in it. Yeah.
Black hair for Keith Lee is, I'm looking younger. I'm looking impressionable. I look like I can do something. White hair, he looks old. But yet, deceptional. No hair, brutal. That's how that works. He needs to get brutal. Now, Joey Janela, what else did he touch on? What are we missing so we can close this up?
That was it.
He was touching on other stuff. But no, I think that's it for the most important stuff. All the really important things about Tony Khan and what he's going through and what he's doing and stuff. Joey Janela was protecting himself, not the indies. I don't think so.
And trying to talk when Disco would let him. Don't ask me a question and needs a long answer and keep interrupting about when you was doing stuff.
Yeah, true that. Inferno got that problem.
I've noticed. And
when you listen to Disco Inferno, predominantly you have to put if you want to really understand everything that he's saying, you got to slow the video down by 1.5 from, you got to slow it down by that much. So it's a thing. Because you're going to talk like this, I'm trying to understand stuff. 2, I'm trying to talk like this. He sounds like a rational talking human being.
Listen to Kermit on 5 Hour Energy.
Why are you so mean? Disco Inferno ain't too bad. I like him. He's all right.
I'm glad that you enjoy his melodious voice.
I like that he makes sense. He knows what he's talking about. Just like Conan, it makes sense to know what he's talking about. I don't agree with everything they say.
I like Conan's speed. I said what I said. Fuck you. Yeah.
That's just jacked up.
Get down with that.
Okay. So look, we've given you 30 minutes. I hope you enjoyed this. If something else come up or you want us to mention something, let us know in the comment section. Of any video that we're doing that's most recent. I do get the notifications in email when someone leaves a comment, so that's how I see them. Zimotimes2 left something. I don't know if I should comment on it or not, but he had nothing but a lot of great things to say. So I just might do a response video to that because I liked it. But other than that, this has been Cedric and Cedar for CRS Commentary. Our thoughts on Joey Janela on 20 Kinds of Mistakes. And with that, y'all take care and see you next time.